Okay, everybody. Just want to thank you all for being here. I know I got my Skype chat up here, but we're going to transfer this over to Heinrich here in just 1 second. Format today is going to be a little bit different. Pretty much we're going to just give this over to Heinrich to share what he's going to share. We're going to do this in 3 parts today. One is going to be the first part about siloing. Second part's going to be about BizSite, and third part's going to be tips and tricks. So we're not going to be answering questions, but please write your questions down during the process of Henrik sharing today, and then we'll answer those at the end of that particular segment. Try to keep things a little bit more organized for Karen as she's making these videos and splitting them up for us. So that's how we're going to do it today. So I will kind of go on the back burner, watch the questions. I'll play a little poker here on the side, see if I can make some money. No, just kidding. But Henrik, go ahead and take it over, and I'm going to mute out till we're ready to take questions.
Okay. Thank you for joining everybody today. What we're going to cover today is silos or siloing. And what I'll start with is a general concept of siloing, and then we're talking about siloing on GMBs, and then we'll go over a few small tips and tricks, a little Google service which will help us doing some nice posters, and we will look at a nice free photo program, and then we will maybe, if time permits, look a little bit on some schema again. So can everybody see my screen? If I could get a 1. Seems okay, yeah. Good. When you see this, can you tell me what this website is about? Fruit, yeah, that's correct, fruit. And when a Google bot comes to the website, it will look exactly the same and say, this is a website about fruit, because that's the only thing that they're seeing. And if we're looking at this one as well, it's also about fruit, right? So when a Google bot comes and they see a website, they will like to see whether they can actually look at the content and see what's the main topic's about. And if the main topic, if they can detect what the main topic's about, to see whether there's any supporting content, i.e. what we call supporting keywords to digest what is the site's about. Many people is just throwing up pages and linking a little bit together. But here, if we take a look at this one, you can see we have a site about fruits, but this time we have actually tried to silo the damn thing. So we will be talking about bananas, we'll be talking about apples, we'll talk about oranges, we'll be talking about peaches. So if we structure our website this way, then Google will have it much more easy to look at each individual silos and actually say, okay, this silo is about bananas, and if we look at the banana silo, there might be a special category, which is the health benefits of eating bananas, and we might have what we call supporting articles, which is actually will be, for instance, a post or page on your website the powerhouse of nutrition when we're talking about bananas. So you can structure your website into different kinds of silos. And if you do that and don't cross link between the silos, then Google will be able to actually support what you're trying to sell and support what you're trying to tell. And then you have a much higher probability of ranking. If we look at the silo and let me just go see what I can find one here. You will agree that it does make sense maybe to make links between apples and oranges and peaches and bananas. So what we normally will do, we will link between the different posts in a silo. So you have a category which might be health benefits. You have a supporting article here. So this little banana here will link up to another supporting article, which will link up to another supporting article, which will link up to another supporting article, which will link up to what we could call a category page, which is the first part of that silo, or that you could say a category page is actually a landing page. And if you want to link between silos, what you normally will do, that you will link, if there's an idea of linking from a banana health fits powerhouse nutrition post to an apple silo, then you will normally link up to the landing page of that silo, so you don't bleed your silos, as we're calling it. Is everybody okay with what we are trying to achieve here in terms of do when we are siloing a website in this fashion? Yes, said Keith. Okay, Yaba. Good. So when we are talking about our little mega poster, then we would like to silo our post in a similar fashion. So in the poster, it's a little bit slow loading. So in the poster, we have an opportunity to link to a post stack. And the only requirements there is to creating a silo in the GMB factory. That is that you first post will have to go live immediately. So if I'm making a new post here, I call it video marketing in Florida. Give my bottom here. I'm doing a link to my money website, creating a post here, adding a photo. Then I have to go out and create post now, or make the post live immediately. When I've done that, which I'm doing now, then I can go in, start again, a new post in the silo, go up here, this post 2, and then I can add the post to a schedule. 19th, 9 p.m. This is local time here, and I'll add a photo as well, which was too small. I'm sorry about that. And then I can add the post and then continue adding. So let's think about how can we actually support this in terms of our little Blogger site. So if we're looking at Blogger here, normally we will go in, we will just hit this one and say we want a Blogger post after we have created the post. It will open our Blogger post, sorry, our Blogger. And here I will have my Blogger name. So in order to go alongside the silo structure here, then you could say, okay, I will have a block here, but if I make a small group, say group of blocks around my topics. So instead of the video agency marketing, video SEO, I could have video marketing in Miami, video marketing in St. Petersburg, video marketing in Tampa, video marketing in Orlando, etc. So I would actually create a small group of blocks around that and then stack those posts into those different blocks. If I go back to this, a normal way of siloing would be that you will have at least 3 silos, recommended 5, and for each, in each silo you'll have 3 categories, but recommended 5 categories. And each category will have at least 5 supporting articles. So you normally will start the silo with the main keyword that you want to rank for, and then the category keywords will be a little bit more long tail, and in each supporting article you will have your long tail keywords that will build up and support that major keyword that you want to rank for, which is your silo keyword. And that's the same thing that you could try to do when you're trying to silo in the GMBs, that you will find the major keyword that you want to rank for, and then you will have the keywords that's supporting the more long tail keywords that's supporting that major keyword down the line, the posts. So if we go back to our little example of ocean lending, the mortgage. So if I want to have mortgage broker, home loan brokers, that will be my first in my stack. And then the supporting ones that will come below is maybe, sorry, I could make it location oriented then, and then I'll say Melbourne here, Florida, and I should actually go up and make this home loan broker Florida, and then my next one post in the next series here will be home loan brokers and maybe Palm Bay, Florida. So I will try to stack up all those keywords, and that will give me a very, very powerful way of ranking my ranking my GMB, and I want to show you something here in just a second. I just have to load the page here. So it's coming up. So if we take a look at the inside, you can see there's the brand search that's already popular, but best mortgage broker near me, best mortgage lenders again, best mortgage lenders in Florida, best mortgage rates near me. And the near me ones is because I made a silo with near me keywords. So I had best mortgage broker near me, and then the location, which I put in. So that stacked up actually increased the awareness from Google in terms of the near me keywords. So what I suggest you do is actually try to look at, could I have a service or something which you could say near me, and then for instance, to have a post which will say you search for mortgage broker near me. Palm Bay again. So here I try to hit mortgage broker again, and I'm also hitting near me, and I'm hitting the location as well. So that's just some ideas of how you could structure your silos in terms of your post activities. So Patrick, do we have any questions yet? If you're still here.
Wait a minute, I have to unmute myself.
Oh dear.
Yeah, I was in the middle of a heavy game here, just betting 22 million to see if I win. So here's the question that I would like to ask. So there's some people here that are in Mega Poster, they're in Ranking Factory, or we've invited through our Facebook groups to come and just listen and learn. Can you just take a few minutes and just kind of go over and share how you might be able to do some of the siloing, but do it as though they don't have any tools? Is there a simple way that we can just share with them by going into the poster? Obviously, they go into their site, their GMB, and they do posts, right? Or are you going to handle that possibly in the next section?
No, I can do it. I can do it now. So
okay, and then Rick will get to your question, and Terry has a question as well. But let's do that, because we do invite people that are not our members here, and they are interested in learning about posting itself. So I think it would be good if we could share some things that they could do without having our tool, right?
Yeah.
That would be awesome. You guys want to see that? A couple of you want to see how to do that without using our tool? Give me a 1 if you do, or 2 if it's not necessary, so we don't have to. Yeah. Yeah. Cool. Okay. A couple people want to see it without using the tool.
Yeah. Okay. So
Thanks.
what you normally do, you will go in, create a post. So you'll write your post here, add a photo. Just take the same one again.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see here, it's a what's new post that I'm creating. I'll go down here, I will write my post. This one will be the first post in my silo. So I'll go in and add a button called Learn More. I will link to my website. Like this. And when I'm done here, I'll go on publish. And as you can see, there's the post immediately posted into the system. Now, when I want to make a new post, which is linking to this post, I will have to go down here, grab the share link as one solution.
Awesome.
And then I will have to say, okay, I'll create a new post. If I can get this moved a little bit. So what's important here is that you will link to the previous post. You can either go in and say, I'm doing that by just dropping the link here, but you can see it takes up an awful lot of characters where you only have 300. So an alternative is to do this instead, that you go down, add a button called Learn More, and then you'll put the link for that button here, and then you'll publish that. So if I go and view this on search, you can see here's my little post, and there's the one I did before. So in theory, when I'm hitting Learn More here, I will actually go to the next post. This one. So you get the idea that I'm linking to the previous post within the series. And that's how you do it manually.
Okay. Awesome. Did you guys find that helpful? I mean, even if the poster's broke, you can use it this way. It doesn't break, but sometimes it has issues. But you guys find that helpful? helpful. And Jordan's got an excellent idea. And we're going to, Jordan, get that to the next section here when we get into the biz site, because he says it's one easy way to silo post too, especially if you're using the biz site. So we'll go ahead and if we don't have any more questions here, Rick, do you have any other questions, sir, about where we are? If not, we'll move on to the next section, which is siloing, like Jordan was saying and suggesting. So this is going to be a new section. So Karen, you can cut the video here, and we'll start with siloing on biz sites.
Actually, what we are doing is siloing on the biz sites in general, because each post will become what you call, or each post that we're making is posted on as updates on the biz site.
Yeah.
And when I'm going into this one, just a second here. Was one I had to view the site. Sorry. So when I click here on this post, if the system will load for me. I'll get this up. And I don't know whether Jordan was referring to, you could actually take these and link to those instead of, because then you're linking directly to the biz site rather to the SERPs and the knowledge panel. So if I'm clicking here, it should go over to the next posts in that series here. So let me go back again. Maybe it's a little bit confusing, but.
He's just basically saying each post has a page. So what you're looking at is that page, right?
Yeah, each post has a page on the website.
Right.
And what Jordan was actually suggesting is that instead of taking the link here to the knowledge panel, I will take the link up here and link to that instead of, so this post on the biz site will link to the next post on the biz site.
Right, right. But the other thing is why we want to kind of go over on the biz site section right now, as you were saying, is that, you know, how many of you that are on here right now actually work on the biz site versus just posting? Because statistically, as we all know, 86% of the people that have a Google My Business do not post on their biz site. Now we're kind of separate because that's our business, right? But and you know, like, you know, Keith and Brian and Jordan are saying, if you're not in capital, bold, underscored, highlighting, screaming in your face letters, is you should. And so that's why, you know, even though these are synced together, and I know I'm talking too much, Henrik, but it's okay.
No,
they are different, and they're different processes. So that's why we wanted to share with you today the post silo, and then literally going over what Jordan was suggesting here, and Keith as well, the biz site prospects. So I will shut up and go play poker.
No, but that's okay. So what you should, as Jordan is mentioning there, we should silo, and when we're siloing in the poster to the next post, we are actually grabbing here the live post links in here, as you're familiar with. Okay, so sorry. So all these links here, links to the post place within the SERPs, where they will live forever. And as you know, when you're on the business website, you would only view here 9 posts at the time. If you go down and look down here where it says view all, then you go actually over and look at the SERPs or in the knowledge panel. So you get the listing of all the posts over here. I think you're all familiar with Match PR service. And what Match does is actually he will be grabbing this link up here, and he would embed that into his stacking. So that becomes very powerful because that is lifting the business website up by being pushed from the cloud stack that he's producing. And I know he was on yesterday Match, but once again, if you have a GMB where you're struggling to rank that GMB, do go and order a press release, and then you'll bump up in the 3-pack. Even though that is competitive niche, you will really push them up. And if you stack them, then the competitor can kiss you goodbye, because then you're sitting up at the first spot.
So for those people who don't necessarily, Henrik, understand that, the fact is that if you get a press release syndication and you have this link to your biz site in it, then just remember you're getting 200, 300, 400 potential links back to this site from highly authoritative links, and just be careful to make sure that the press releases that you're getting are not the ones that are no follow links. You want to search out and find ones that are doing it in a different way, that are giving you embed and follow links. So yes, it does.
Normally in a press release, the links in the press release are no follows, but the embeds are do followed links, and it's their Match service is outstanding because he can do, is it 3 or 4 embeds?
He gets a total of 7.
7 embeds or
7
well, links?
Four embeds, and he gets 3 links, so he gets a total of 7.
Yeah, okay, but the four links that you're getting is actually do follow links, which means that if you have a syndication of 300s, then you get 4 times 300 links back. So that's awesome, and that really powers up, because you will of course embed your GMB map. You can embed your post. You can embed your business website into the press release. So that's a very, very good tactic to use when you're trying to rank your GMBs. Any questions out there?
Any benefit to linking both the post and the post on the biz site? Any benefit?
So when you're siloing,
both,
for instance, yeah.
Right.
So here, if you're siloing to your biz sites in the URL link, and then you're siloing to the post, but you will have your link in here to your biz website. So if I was to go here, I could have taken this link and just paste it in here. So I have a link here. Normally I'll put it in a button, but anyway, you get the idea that you just put in a link to the biz website there. You have a link to the other post here, and then you're actually linking out to the post in the stack and to the post on the business website. But that should be the same post as we were discussing here. You will have to link to relevant content, and that's the key word. That's relevant content.
Question is, does RFR have a GMB poster built into it as well?
Yes, it has, but it doesn't have the silo facility in it.
It doesn't have a lot of things in it. It's a basic poster, but it is there.
It can schedule and it can post.
Terry's question or statement, but the software does not gather the URLs of the pages of the biz site yet. Question.
Wait.
Yet. So the possibility of that happening is in the works, but it doesn't at the moment. But still, we're still showing how people can do that, because remember, this is a eclectic audience. Some have the software, some don't. So we have to be cognizant of that. Okay, so let's go ahead and move on into your segment of the biz site. Okay. I guess that means yes.
Yeah, I'm silent. We spoke about the biz site a little while back, and the biz site is a one-page business website that you can use, where you have a maximum of 500 or 1,500 words that you can fill into the biz site. So when you come down to the gray area down here, that's the maximum text that you can put into the website. Some businesses will have an opportunity to put in what we call services. So if I go to my dashboard and I go to the info tab, there will be a section down here which is called services. And here you can go in and you can add sections. So if you're going back to the same structure that we were talking about in terms of the siloing, then you can actually build the same structure up here in this section. So a category which has items in it. So I don't know if you have seen it, but there is some. Well, let me finish this one first. So a section here. So if I'm talking about video marketing in Florida, that's my section here. Then I'll go down, I'll add an item here. So video marketing in Miami, Florida. And here I don't need to put in monetary as a price here, as it says up here. When you post in the poster and you have a product post, you will need a price in here, but you can put it to 0 or 0.001 if you don't want to disclose the pricing. So I will put in 5 at least in each section here. Just add them quick here so we don't.
I think they have something called a copy paste key. So,
No, where's that, Patrick?
nothing.
So I want to put in a new section. So I'll go down here, add a new section, and then I'll say video ranking in YouTube. And then I'll continue with the service there. Add an item. Etc. So whatever services that you can think of, just add them. When you go into your website and look at that when it's being updated, which we'll do now. Then you can see the section down here called services, and that's where they will be situated. So the more that you can actually stack in silo here, the better your business website will perform. And that's, you have to think about this as an addition to whatever you put down here. So as many services as you can, and that will actually help your business website to rank and get more authority. I'm just gonna do something here. It's not all who has this little item down here, which is called product beta. But what it allows you to do is actually to go in and put in your products, and you will have to put in a minimum of 3 categories within the product category, or they call it collection. You see up here, you need 3 collections with 5 products in each. And what happens then is that you will see on your mobile that you will have a service tab in the mobile. I'll see if I can get it up here, just a second.
Good thing I don't have to spell Swedish or Danish or Dutch or whatever. I have a translator for that. You know that, right?
Yeah, but what I want you to see that on a mobile, can you see down here where I'm putting my finger now?
Yep.
It says produkter, which means products in Danish. So if I hit that one, it actually shows the products here. So on a mobile, you will have that tab over here showing these products that you put in here. So that's quite cool.
Okay, you mentioned that. Why are you special? Why does Google love you so much that they're giving you that product button and other people may not have that?
Because I do never ever spam.
So that's the issue. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
I think you're
But
full of shit.
while I have this up here, I want to show you something here. I'll put in wheelchairs, spelled quite funny. On a mobile, you will see the products coming up here. If you scroll down, can you see this one? That's actually a knowledge panel being shown. And this is one of my clients. So here it shows actually their knowledge panel for the keyword wheelchairs.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been arguing again and again that the views you see in the insights, you can track these whenever Google has decided to show the panel, the knowledge panel. But if I'm hitting this one, the call now button, that's what's being registered as the calls, or if they have been shown the 3-pack, and will call from there.
Okay.
So if you get Google to draw a knowledge panel, which you can do on a, so it's running out here. See, it doesn't drag a 3-pack here in this area for this keyword, but it actually take that company's
Knowledge panel.
Yeah. And they are in competition with all these service ads up here. It's okay. That's okay. So
by doing basically what you're saying here is, by doing all of these things and getting Google to show your knowledge panel up for particular keyword where there's no or isn't necessarily a 3-pack, which is even better because you're kind of owning the entire page there. And then you're getting hits to your knowledge panel from people searching without a 3-pack here, and that's going into your insights. And that's why you're saying, the insights doesn't necessarily reflect the hits from the 3-pack, right?
Nope.
Okay.
So that's right. That's important to understand that it's not all about having a ranking in the 3-pack, because you don't know when Google decide to show the knowledge panel in the mobile. And if you look at the mobile here, I'm really stealing real estate above the ads that's coming up here.
Mm-hmm.
So if you really have some powerful post with an image that is in contrast to what you see on the phone, then people will click it. I think.
Okay.
Yep.
Just to kind of clarify a little bit and some importance here, Henrik, if you don't mind, I'm going to ask Jordan to pop on here. Jordan Pierce is a friend of mine I met at SEO Rockstars, pretty knowledgeable within this space.
Yeah.
So, Jordan, if you're there, can you kind of give us some insights from your perspective? I know you have a coaching class and a bunch of clients. How important is it for us and for other people that are, doing what we're trying to do to actually use the biz site in relationship to trying to rank their actual website for the main keywords for the 3-pack?
Sure. So one thing that I do like about the business sites is, one, it's using a property from Google. It really helps validate your brand. And I'm all about branding and everything that I do. Business sites too, you can do a lot with them, especially since the posts are now showing up as like a separate page on those sites. So they're super powerful. But I mean, the biggest thing for me is just being able to really validate your brand. I will say though, the one thing you do have to be careful with when you do use them is sometimes Google gets a little sneaky and they will actually insert the biz site into your GMB even without asking them. So that's just one thing you have to watch out for. But I love it. They're super easy to rank. For all of my lead gen properties, I just use those biz sites rather than having to go out and buy separate domains.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can do a lot with them. The only thing is you can't really customize some of like the H tags and things like that, but they're getting a little bit better with that. But
Are you
yeah,
able to put embed codes in?
I think that's something they're going to be working on, but right now you
You
can't.
can't, right? Right.
Yeah, but I know that's something that they're working on here in the next future. I've even seen jumps by just buying the web domain after I get the biz site. If I just buy the domain from Google, I've even seen like increases just from buying it. So, but again, you can do a lot with them. They just changed a lot of the look on it too, so they're a little bit more user friendly as far as like actual search users. Very mobile friendly. So they're great sites, especially if you don't want to go out and buy a bunch of domains if you're doing lead gen or whatever you're doing.
Right. But if you do have a domain, like, and a website,
Yep.
using the biz site as the link to your website from the biz site, that's pretty powerful as well, right?
Absolutely. I even use these. So if I have a site, I'll put these in the appointment URL just to kind of give it a little bit more validation of the brand.
Mm-hmm.
It does help give a little. It does push a little bit too by putting that in there. But one thing about Google, they love their products, so they're always trying to push their own shit into your dashboard.
Right. So if you could
So
just kind of give one single piece of advice to everybody out there, whether they do this or they don't, what one thing would you suggest that they do in terms of the biz site?
you should always get it published, regardless if you're going to be using your own site. It's a good thing to have as part of trying to build your brand. Whether if you're using Web 2.0s that kind of help with that, this is just another Web 2.0 that you can use.
Right.
Jordan, what you said before was that the Google will change this in the dashboard to
Yeah,
the business side.
yeah. So I haven't seen it as much, but sometimes if you publish it, they'll squeeze that site in there for you and like push yours out of the way. So
Do,
that's
do,
just one thing. That's just one thing I would monitor.
do you want a sneaky trick? If you want your main money sites indexed immediately or recrawled, then you go in and change this to your business site and then change it back to the money site.
Yep.
And
Well,
then it will
that's
be
another.
indexed immediately.
Right, and that's another thing too, even with just validation of just GMB. That's why I always tell people, it doesn't matter if you're doing local, national, affiliate, you should always have at least a GMB because it's really good the validation of your site. You can index your site a lot quicker by just putting your site in there rather than having to go through like a search console and try to crawl it. So it's very, very powerful. The business site, putting that in there, putting it in the appointment field, it's super powerful.
Cool. Well, thanks, Jordan. I appreciate
Yeah, my pleasure.
being here with us today. That's awesome. Thank you, sir.
Absolutely.
All right, getting back to a couple questions. Someone wants to know what, non-related, Mark wants to know what phone software you're using to be able to share your phone on the screen.
It's a small program called Mirror 360.
Mirror 360?
Yeah. I'll take it up here again on the screen. It's from Splashtop, but it's called Mirroring 360. It's a very, very expensive software. It costs you $11 to have a license.
Awesome. Okay. So knowledge panel. Oh, Terry was just saying to get the knowledge panel for a single keyword is pretty impressive. That's why we have Henrik on here to share, because he's impressive. Is it possible to capture a link to Google displaying the knowledge panel and boost it? From Brian. Is it possible to capture a link to Google displaying the knowledge panel and boost it?
If you are in RFR, then you know that we can do certain things. So if I go in here and search for wheelchairs, if I grab this link, that's the link that's actually producing this knowledge panel, right?
Right.
So if you go in RFR and run a few campaigns, then I'm pretty sure that you will boost this actually page here. You might trigger a little Google dance, but I think you will all, if you just boost it a little bit and it will drop out a little, then we'll come back again and maybe be more powerful.
So basically what you're saying is the answer is yes.
Yeah.
Use whatever tools you have available that you might use to boost or help rank a regular site, in this case a link. So whether it's RFR, whether it's PBN, whether it's Money Robot, whether it's SEO Autopilot, whatever it is, there are tools to help you do that. Ranking Factory, Revolution is probably the one we would recommend since it's our company and we use it all the time. But, once again, there are people who don't have that with us. So the answer would be yes. Scott Rogers is asking, does the knowledge panel only show if you are close to them? So if we check that keyword from the United States, we're not going to see your knowledge panel.
Presumably not, but if I drop it in the chat, somebody could try it.
Okay. Somebody want to test that? Jordan says no.
It won't.
So it's probably, no knowledge panel on our side, right? Oh, it won't matter. Sorry, Jordan. Yeah. So I think the reason Scott is asking is because he has an international product, his wine boxes, which, by the way, are phenomenal gifts, wine boxes, and he's not local, he's international, so that's the reason why he's asking. Now, Gary Simmons says it showed up for him, and he's in Baltimore.
Yep.
So,
but I can tell you that I have a client where I have had their knowledge panel showing up locally. Then we drew a 3-pack, but because we are very close to Sweden, when the Swedish company, they're searching for the products, let's say 200 kilometers away, then it's actually the Danish knowledge panel that's propping up in Sweden.
well, Tim is in Connecticut, it's showing for him. Gary's in Baltimore, it's showing for him. Brian's in Arizona, it did not show for him. So I guess it's hit and miss, but it does show up elsewhere.
No, Arizona is excluded.
Nothing on the West Coast from Rick. Well, on the West Coast, who cares? That's part of California, which won't be here long anyway, so it'll be gone. Arizona. Oh, listen to this. Arizona is showing in Spanish.
Okay.
How about that? Burned is in Peru. Nothing. So, interesting that it is and it isn't as well. So if it is, then that just means that there's probably something we could figure out to make it better. But the fact that it does show up is pretty cool, right?
Yeah.
So that kind of answers that question. All right. Any other questions about the biz site? Let's see. I had a client sells national products on the East Coast, show up in the 3-pack on the West Coast. Okay. So, all of this is possible. It's just, like Tim says, Google is a fickle beast. We just have to figure out, what hormones Google's on at the moment, right? So we need to take these biz site pages and do something with them. Scott, were you listening to Jordan? So we need to take these biz.site pages and do something with them. Scott, here's a knock knock joke. Knock knock. Who's there? Obviously you're not. Wake up. I love you, Scott. Okay. So in any case, yes, we need to do something with them. That's what Jordan is saying. That's what Henrik is saying. One of the things, and I'll just interrupt here real quickly. Go back to the mute button. Who's mute button? I'm not on the mute button. Scott. Go back to the biz site where we're putting in our services. I just want to get this is a question for you and Jordan and Terry. Okay. So go back to where we're putting in our services, or in the info section.
Yeah.
So we do what you say that we're doing, but what I've been doing in testing, and it seems to be working out, is when I add not my service areas, but I'm adding my categories.
In the services, yeah.
Okay. What I've done is gone to Plepper, and I've put in my main category, and then very easily I've been able to find all related categories. Okay. So in this case, I would go to Plepper, P-L-E-P-E-R, and not only would I do the city silo, but I'm doing it for the actual related Google My Business categories. So my question to you is, by putting in what Google already knows is a qualified category related to our main category, okay, does, in your opinion, Jordan and Terry and or Henrik, do you think that that's something that we should continue to do, because it basically is siloing the categories in some way, shape, or form, because you've got your main category, then the related categories, and you're continually hooking those up, so it broadens your reach, not physical reach or geo reach, but it broadens your product reach, your service reach. So what are your thoughts on that? You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah. There's only one thing to do: test it.
Well, I have been. I'm finding that it's working out pretty well. But
if it produce a better ranking for your biz website, then by all means do it.
Okay. So that was kind of like a segue into tips, right?
Yeah. But again, for these service sections here, you have enormous opportunity to stuff in keywords, your categories. There's so much space in here to do it. Just be careful it doesn't look too spammy, which is difficult actually to put it.
Yeah. All right. Jordan says depends on the primary category. If you have too many, it starts to dilute your primary. Okay.
Yeah.
And you should post based on the particular content and group by related categories only. Exactly. That's what we're doing. Okay. So it seems to me to be helpful because we're very specific in what we're information we're putting into those categories, very related. Especially like in ballroom, we're dancing, we're doing, and that's one I'm testing on. But so with that being said, I don't see anything else in relation to the biz site. So why don't we segue into your next section for tips and tricks?
Yeah. I just want to show you a free site I run about, which is called PicMaker. And what I loved about this little fellow here is that if I, for instance, want to create a YouTube thumbnail, when we're creating pictures for the post, you normally would have to come up with unique pictures. And one way of doing that is, of course, create something which is local. So I'll just let this run a little bit. So here I'm going to create a thumbnail. And what I want to do is maybe to find a little picture here. Go to backgrounds, I'm sorry, pictures, photos. Find a good one. For instance, this one. So what I can do is actually I can go up here, click on this one, remove background. It will scroll a little bit, ask me if I want to do an automatic, and I say yes. And then it will go in identifying but what I'm trying to say is that you can actually take photos here, remove the background, take a person or a thing which is in the foreground, and use that, put that into a transparent picture, and then go and build. So I'm going in. I can actually refine it here if I want, but I don't have time for that. Okay, here we go. I can flip that. And then I can use this in another photo or another picture. So I thought that it was a little bit cool because it's free of charge. And I can actually do quite a lot with my limited graphical skills with it. So I think it's quite cool. What do you think, guys? Who lost you?
I'm here.
Okay.
Let's see. Hold on a second. It's good, great. PicMaker looks good. Thanks. Pretty cool site, cool bit, great. And that's considered a unique image from Rick?
Yeah, because what we did was actually we took a part of it, and then let's say I want to put this one in here. So I have this here, so I'll put this to the background. No, I won't, sorry. Take this one, copy it.
So basically what you're saying, it removes all the background and just keeps whatever you've clicked on as the foreground?
Yeah. So here I can go in and make whatever I want, but you get the point that I'm removing the background, taking some part of another one, and maybe go in. So instead of having the picture here, I can of course go change the layers, filters, putting in whatever I want.
So did you say this was free?
This is free.
Yeah. Now remember I told you earlier you weren't supposed to say free because I was going to charge 20 bucks for this? Did you not get my memo? You forgot, you didn't get my memo, did you?
You're supposed to give me 100.
Man, I'll tell you what. Guys, it's hard to get good help, you know what I'm saying? And you change the metadata in there too. Gary, you can change the metadata on any picture after it's created as a JPEG or a PNG, not a PNG, but a JPG or a JPEG. But I don't know that you can change the metadata within this software.
No, you can't. You'll have to download it.
But you can use my software to do that, which is the image duplicator,
Yeah.
or anybody else's.
Yeah.
One of the, I just want to, no, I'm not going to say that. Never mind. Go ahead. What other tricks you got, bud?
I just want to show a little thing here. It's the DMT from Network Empire. And what I have been in creating a profile, when I go into the profile, I did an analysis of the competitors of the mortgage brokers around Ocean's Landing. And if, for instance, I go into this one, Assurance Home, I can see the website. I can go down here. I can see all the keywords that they're ranking for. And what I would like to show you is actually this little part down here called questions. And that's a very, very good resource to look at these questions for posts. How much mortgage can I afford? How to apply for an FSA loan? How to do an FSA loan works? If I go into the what section, you can see all the questions with what, when, where, which, who, and then. So that's a really, really cool tool to get an idea of what is the industry, what is the market talking about, what's the language of your little
Rick is asking, are those Google questions or what?
There are questions gathered from all over the web. So it's maybe Answer the Public, it's from Google, it's from everywhere.
And that's a free service?
No, that's not a free service. That's a paid service. But I think we can get Matt Cruz on a call, and he can explain about the tool.
Yeah, one of the things that we do, guys, and whether you're part of GMB, RFR, content, Traffic Factory, whatever, or you're just here on our Facebook site, is we look for scenarios like what Henrik was just sharing with you, and we try to figure out a way where we can get the information for you without having you guys to have to go out and spend, $499 a month, to get this information. So what we're working on with them right now, just as an FYI, is to see how we can work a deal with them to parse this out so that if you want to report, for a couple bucks or 15, 20 bucks for a report, we're going to be able to run in here and provide you guys with the reports that you would need. And therefore you don't have to go out and spend, 100, 200, 400 bucks a month to subscribe to the service like we would be doing for you. But what Henrik was trying to share with you here is that there's just awesome amount of information here that would help you not only with your own site, but know what your competitors are doing so that you have the competitive analysis. And this is way, 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 way better than SMrush. At 100 bucks a month, this is really a lot better. But in any case, it doesn't matter. If you need, we're working on something right now, so we'll let you all know when it comes to pass.
But the last one I want to show you. Pardon?
Go ahead. Sorry.
Yep. The last thing I want to show is actually a gift from Google to you. It's small thanks with Google. It's the website. So when you go in there, you go down and then you say Oceans Lending. Okay. What it does is actually going and find the reviews on Oceans Lending, and it makes small posters, which you can download and use. So if I go into other styles and reviews, then you see all the reviews here. So if I take this one, click next. I should go somewhere. So I've chosen that. Why does it let me go further? It does here. So if I want this one, I can choose this one. I can choose the colors if I like. I can click finish. And then I can download that picture, or I can take a social media post if I rather like that instead of, and click on download. And I'll get a zip file. Unpack this one. And you can see here I downloaded a lot of pictures from the reviews, which I then can use for whatever I want.
And this is awesome for the image duplicator and metadating all those images. I'm going to play with that this week. This is pretty cool.
And you even have Google approval on it.
Right. Yeah, that's freaking incredible. A couple questions on this. Hang on. So Terry says he's been using this for a long time. So Terry, you're holding out on me. I don't appreciate that, but it's okay. I love you anyway. Brian, are these reviews just GMB/Google reviews, or are they from other sites as well?
I'm not sure, but I think it's only Google reviews.
It would look like it to me, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, using graphical, this is from Patrick Forbes, not me. Using graphical reviews in your retargeting is great for branding and social proof. So
Yep.
that's a declarative statement. Obviously, he's using that and is working out well for him on that prospective score, and it makes perfect sense, right? I've been posting reviews to GMB for all my clients. I like the small thanks option as well. Cool. Yep. Moy says, awesome handy tool. Terry, I wasn't aware no one else used this. Oh, you were the only one in the entire Google universe, Terry, that was using this. I got it. Could I use branded image for the background? That's interesting. Why would you want to? I guess.
No, but you could take any of these images and go in and change them.
You still have the Google branding on it, right?
Yeah. But if you take, for instance, this one, you can go in and change that so that you have your brand name over here, for instance.
Mm-hmm.
But here, you Ocean's Landing, that's the brand.
Right. Bernd is in Peru. He says, note, available to businesses in the United States, Canada, UK, India, Australia, and New Zealand.
Well, I'm sitting in Denmark. To the businesses, yeah, GMBs. I took Ocean's Landing. That's maybe right. Let me just check that quickly.
Oh, hey, Tim says, what about this? Scroll down. They make a video for you. That's the next question.
Scroll down.
Tim, where do you see that? Scroll down. Where do you see a video?
This is just oh, yeah, this one. Okay.
Where?
Here.
Oh. So you guys know all this stuff and you're holding out on us, man. That's, look at that. A free video from Google? No way.
Yeah. That's cool.
Boom. I had to put the sound effects in there, Tim. Boom. That's from Tim. You could screen record that as well.
Yeah, but can't we download it?
Should be able to. If it's there, you should be able to get it.
Yeah, but it said there wasn't a customized video available at the moment.
Now you can always screen record it, right?
Yeah. Yes, you can.
Mark,
Cool.
there are links to post socially. Thought I saw a note you could share the video, share it, post it socially.
There's no share buttons.
What about source code? Anyway, we'll play with this. This could, we'll do this next time. Check network in the inspection tools, Patrick says. Terry, in the US, it will upload the video to YouTube for you. We'll have to do a little class on that. Terry, unless you know how to do it right now and can tell us. I put a link in here in the chat box, Henrik,
Yeah.
from Tim. You just click on the video and we'll upload for you. Really? Click on the video and upload for you. You mean click to play it, Terry?
Ah.
There's another link in the chat box for you, Henrik. Anyway, there's a way it can be done.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
So we'll play with this and we'll do a simple little training on this for the groups. Okay. Awesome. Mine gives a link to the YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. That's from Tim.
Yeah.
Possible that being outside the U.S. affects the functionality that you have from Kofi. So, yeah, let's play with this. I mean, this is coming directly from Google. How tough can it be? It's got a lot of authority to it. I mean, people respect Google, right? Thanks, guys. That's awesome. Scott Rogers has his video already done. Terry's got his already done. Both of them are in the United States. So,
Yep.
Very nice. All right. So that kind of concludes what we had planned for today. It'll be video will be available in 3 sections. One will be on the poster, the other will be on biz sites, and the other will be on tips and tricks. So there'll be 3 of them. So, are there any general comments, any general questions, anything that you guys want to ask while you have us? I love this knowledge panel deal. This is pretty cool. We're going to have to play with that a little bit more and maybe just do a complete course on that in terms of how we could do this and what Henrik is absolutely doing. I know Terry's got him and Jordan's got him as well. But so any questions, any last minute questions? Great info. Thanks, Kofi. Appreciate that. If you are in Ranking Factory, if you're in GMB Factory, or if you are on our Facebook page, would you please make a post that would indicate whether we shared with you today was helpful, that if people should check it out, especially on our Facebook pages, because there's a lot of people there that are not members of GMB or RFR. And if you are not a member of GMB or RFR and would like to find out more about it, you can PM me. And we do have discount codes available for those that are not members, that are part of our Facebook friends. So just give me a shout in either Facebook or on my Skype at Patrick Tuttle, no spaces. and be happy to chat with you guys. No last questions? 10 seconds to ask a question. 9. I'm typing. All right, guys. No last questions. So we're going to just thank you for being here. Harry, appreciate it. Appreciate your thoughts. And we will see you again next week with another segment of GMB. See you guys.
Okay, see you. Thank you.
Thanks, Edward.